Well, hello there and welcome to Legless Not Lifeless, Living the Nightmare, Chasing the Dream. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be looking at how we're going to generate electricity, wire it up, what it's going to be used for, and all those kind of bits and pieces. Now, this is something that's completely new to me, and if you see something on here that you think I need to look at, then please do leave comments in the comments bit and I'll get back to you, and I'd appreciate any help on it. Now, in regards to cable sizing and so forth, I've not specified what cable sizing we're going to be using at the moment, because some of that's going to be determined by the appliances that we're putting through it and what size batteries or what size inverters and all those kind of bits and pieces. And at the moment we're still a little bit unsure on some of them, but this is just a rough idea to give you an idea of what it's going to be like. So let's delve in and see what we're going to do. So to start with, we'll look at how we're going to generate the electricity, how we're going to make the power. Well, the first thing that you'll notice on here is the solar panels. We're going to be using 360 watt solar panels, and they're going to be wired in series. Doing it this way means that the amps are kept nice and low, and it's only the volts that go higher. It's a better and safer way of doing this, and it also means that in low light situations we're able to still generate electricity. Now, you will also notice that we've got three ways of generating electricity. So we've got the solar, we've also got a wind turbine, and then we've also got DC to DC charging power. So we'll start with the solar and what that's going to do and how we're going to do that. So the first thing you'll notice, we've got the solar panels. That cabling will go through a roof gland, and then that will go down to a double pole isolating switch, which is here. Basically that's there as belt and braces. So just make sure that if we ever have to work on the solar panels or on the system as a whole, then we can isolate the power, that there'll be no power coming into it, that it's then safe for us to work on. From that double pole isolation switch, it will go into an MPPT charger. That enables us to then take that to the batteries or wherever it's going to be going. Now, for me, I'm going to have two MPPT charge controllers, and from each of them we'll also have a smaller display unit that will be housed in the living area so that we can keep an eye on the batteries. So that's the first MPPT charge controller. The second MPPT charge controller will obviously be off the wind turbine. The wind turbine, once again, it'll be through the wires through the roof gland and double pole isolation switch, and then into the MPPT charge controller with its own display unit. And as with both of these, we will then have a fused breaker. The size of that will be determined later, but that basically will protect the MPPT charge controller and also the batteries. Now, for the wind turbine, we're then going to go to a four-way charge switchover, so that will mean that we can either charge either the main leisure batteries, we can either then charge the wheelchair charge batteries, or as a last resort, if we're ever running low on power and our start batteries have actually run low, we can then put it back into our start batteries and charge them up, because you never know what's going to happen. And having that safety thing there, when I have to use the wheelchair lift and various things like that at the back that place an awful lot of power consumption from those batteries in operating that wheelchair lift, it means that I'm never going to be caught out and be in a situation where I can't use the lift. So having that wind turbine charger with that control switch means that I can then put power back into there. And then also as well, from the charge of the start batteries, once they're charged up and we're running, we can then use the DC to DC chargers, and they will charge either the main batteries in the leisure side, or once again they can be then switched over on the second one to either charge the main leisure batteries or my wheelchair charging batteries. Now, these two batteries down here are literally there for me to be able to charge up my electric wheelchair. Most people don't have this issue because they're not full-time wheelchair users. I happen to be one, and I need the option to be able to charge my wheelchair wherever I am in whatever I'm doing. So that's the idea of this little setup here, is that these two batteries are an independent unit that I can charge up, have a breaker, and then just simply run an inverter off it that will then run my wheelchair charger, and I can charge up my wheelchair batteries. And we just simply have two displays there. One will be in the cab and one in the living area, so that I can always see what percentage of the battery there are and how fully charged they are. The same as on the main batteries in the lorry, I've got two display units there, one in the living area and one in the cab, so that I know what charge they have got. Each of them are on isolation switches and also will have breakers in them to protect all the units and also protect all the batteries. That's the charge size of it done, and we now will just concentrate on the solar panels being charged in the main leisure batteries. Doesn't matter where that power comes from, we then just simply move to the main leisure batteries. Now for me, the leisure batteries that we're going to be using 200 amp ones, and they are going to be straightforward AGM batteries, purely from a financial point of view. Yes, they're not the best, but they're what we can afford and they're what we can use. And once again, straight off them, they will have a display unit in the main cab so that I know what we're charging, and a main display unit in the living area so that I know what percentage the batteries are at any given point. Now in these, we will make sure that we have a live at one end and a negative on the final end battery. That way, when we're using any of the power that's within this, we're not just depleting one battery, we're using all of these batteries as a whole and making sure that we're taking power right across the board so that we're using each and every one of them. From there, we'll have a fuse breaker pretty close as we can to the battery, just to protect it. Once again, the size of those are going to be determined later on, along with the cable sizing, because we need to make sure that we get the right cable sizing. We will then go from there into a bladed fuse holder, and from there we will run various appliances, whether that be the maxi fans, whether that be the water pump, whether that be the diesel heaters, the lights both internally and externally, and the inverters that we're going to use to run 240 power supplies, AC, microwave, TV, fridge, washing machine, dishwasher, you name it, it's all going to be run from off there. Another way that we're going to be able to generate power if all the wind, the solar, and not wanting to charge the batteries by running the engine all the time, is we're going to have mains hookup, which will come from this simple setup here of a mains battery charger, and that will simply work as most of them do. Plug it into an electric mains hookup via the fuse box to protect it, straight through into there, and then charging the batteries up. Now this is a really plain and simple system, but it just gives you an overall rough idea of what we're going to use. Be grateful for any comments that you want to make on this, and as I say, it's just there as an example. If you want to know more about the project that we're doing, then please do get in touch, and if you have any comments about this, then please let us know in the comments below. One area that I did forget to mention is that we are going to have some 12-volt appliances which will use a step down adapter to drop it down to 12 volts, because with it being a HGV it's 24 volts, and then we'll run various 12-volt sockets off that for 12-volt appliances. Thank you for looking at this video, and thank you for watching it, and thank you for watching Living Life to the Full in Legless Not Lifeless, living the nightmare but chasing the dream. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.